Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Shining Force, the one and only place where you can watch me, Craig Stern, playing Shining Force. Not that you would necessarily want to watch it again anywhere else. I don't really know that that's all that valuable. Bouffant has just gotten out of bed after, well, we don't really know exactly what happened. We just know that his ship was adrift, and presumably he was starving and passed out, and woke up in this bed in the town of Rudo. Let's talk to Creepy Staring Girl and see what she has to say. Okay, half dead. That is what I like to hear. Alright. And there's another Creepy Staring Girl. Let's see what she has to say. Everyone really wants me to talk to Karen, I think is the lesson here. The town of Dragonia. I feel like I've heard of that place before. I feel like maybe it's somehow connected with, I don't know, dragons, maybe? Oh no, not blue. Baby sacred dragon. Folks, let me tell you a little bit about blue. That has nothing to do with blue not eating cat food, I think. I don't know, maybe blue doesn't eat cat food either. Who knows? Blue is a baby dragon. He is a character you can recruit. And when he starts off, he's pretty bad. But he, if you level him up, can actually be pretty cool. In his promoted form, he attacks by spitting lightning bolts, which is pretty sweet. I think you have to agree. You can also see we've basically landed in the Lord of the Flies, except that they've somehow managed to overcome anarchy and establish a child leader. I love this game. So let's explore a little. I see. So a kid just made a barricade, and we are reliant on the child to open it up. Bouffant apparently is a huge wuss. That is the only lesson I can draw from that. As you can see, Bouffant is not wearing a shirt, he is wearing some kick-ass armor. And that little kid just dissed it by calling it a shirt. I am offended. Oh, what do you know? Some treasure chest. Yeah, that's gonna work out really well. I kind of almost wish that they would show a battle between all the little children and the Runefaust army. Just because it would be horrible. And what's more, I also like to see... Well, here, let me rephrase that. I don't like pretty much any sort of media where you see little kids that are supposedly more competent than all the adults, and the adults are all completely clueless, and the kids are all super cool. It's just, you know, come on. Yeah, okay, maybe when you're a kid that sort of appeals to you, but let's get real for a second. Alright? Nothing wrong with being a kid, but, you're not going to fight in a battle where you need physical strength in order to land a successful hit and be effective if you're a kid. It's just that simple. And unfortunately, we're going to see some of that in, we're going to see some of that going on in Shining Force 2, which I've already decided I'm going to do a Let's Play of, because I think it's a pretty swell game, and I would like to show you that one as well. As you can see, I'm transferring Ernest's Steel Lance over to Kokichi, because he can use it, and it would make him much more effective. Yep. Well, I'm not a child. Why don't you sell to me, buddy? Oh, what's this? The priest isn't a kid? I can only assume that's the priest who was already on our ship, and he just decided he was going to take over the abandoned, Okay, it's time to promote Xylo. I can only assume he decided to just take over this abandoned church here, because otherwise there is no good explanation for why there is an adult priest just randomly hanging out in this town, and one who, moreover, has absolutely nothing to say about the fact that he is entirely surrounded by children. So Xylo is now I believe it's a Wolf Baron, is what WFBN stands for, which is kind of a random title. It suggests he's some sort of wolf nobility now. Oh, Shining Force. So let's see if they have any deals here. No, no deals. And they have a Chrome Lance. Wait a minute. I just bought Steel Lances. I feel slightly ripped off. Well, whatever. That's fine. See how it is, game. You know, I don't think my characters actually need Chrome Lances at this point. They're doing pretty well. As far as, I mean, even just using the Power Spears, they deal pretty substantial damage at this point. I am not too concerned about their ability to hit hard when it counts. The hats? Why, they're so concerned about the recent rumors. I bet. Why are all these old people here? I thought this was a town of children. I'm so confused. I don't like this guy's face, but I'm going to be honest with him. Yeah, I'm Bouffant. So this guy, Lyle, is... he just pushed me out of the way. He is pretty much the only archer worth having in this entire game. Now, he doesn't look like an archer, and that's because he's a centaur with some kind of crazy shoulder-mounted cannon. But he is technically an archer class, just one who moves much farther and faster than Hans or Diane do. And apparently he goes to the bar and just straight up falls asleep, like a sad drunk. That's alright. I won't judge you, Lyle, for your strange drinking habits, because we are going to give you a shot on the team. I haven't quite... I'm not entirely convinced that he's the best person to have on my team. I might kick him off later, but I'm definitely going to give him a chance, because I remember him being pretty decent. Yeah, Lo, sorry buddy, it's time for you to go again. That is all. The hordes of Runefaust are on the attack, and we cannot waste too much time down here. You do that, Lyle. We'll have your chance in just a moment. Once we get out of town. Now I just have to remember how to get out of town, because I remember that kid eventually clears that stuff away. Maybe if I talk to Karen again, if I can remember where she actually is. Over here, I think. Kryn. That must be the little girl chasing around the chicken. Duly noted. So, oh, looks like there might be a way to get down there. I should check around for another door. Yeah, it's gotta be in there, right? Let's see what's in here. These kids are awfully organized. Whoa, hey now. Oh, that must be Kryn. Yeah, tell me about your book with your great stuff. Yep, okay, cool. This is the first time, by the way, that anyone in the game has actually said anything about Dark Dragon. Which is kind of weird, but not totally out of the ordinary when you consider the way RPGs of Japanese origin, the way they tend to go about things. Oh, and look! This kid is now almost cleared all of the rubble out of the way by magic. Speaking of rubble and magic, I was thinking about that Master Mage who blocked the way to the Shining Path back in, I think it was Metafa, maybe? Well, it was, you know, in Ring Reef in Warl. I was wondering, how the heck did he do that? Because all he had were freeze level 1 and freeze level 2. And I'm pretty sure you can't just randomly create obstacles on the battlefield with those spells. These Guardiana fools must be stopped! Kane's mission is vital! Attack! Yeah, blah blah, I must quickly break through to Dragonia. So, as you can see, there are not very many enemies on this battlefield, and like roughly half of them are artillery, which frankly kind of blow. Here's a Master Mage. Here's an updated Dark Priest, the High Priest, which has heal level 4, which is actually a pretty impressive spell. Of course, the AI isn't really good enough to ensure that he'll use it consistently, but, you know, theoretically, High Priests are pretty serious to deal with. Then we have a Durahan. Durahans are basically, as far as I can tell, empty suits of centaur armor. And if you look at those stats, those are pretty serious stats. These things are not to be taken lightly. So basically we have some serious enemies at the end and then virtually nothing in between. But that's a little deceptive because this is one of those battles where enemies suddenly appear when you walk past a certain spot on the map. As you will be seeing as we advance. So there's Xylo. As you can see, he looks pretty weird. Oh crap, I forgot he's poisoned. Ah! Alright, hang on. I'm going to egress and cure him of his poison. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to waste your time there. Yeah, no one has detox, and I don't think I have any antidotes, so I kinda need to egress. My bad. Yeah. Blah, blah. Oh, yes, everyone's going. It's very impressive. Okay. Well, you got to see egress for the first time. Yeah, not the most impressive thing ever. One thing I do like about egress is that it it automatically puts you right in front of the priest. Clearly, when they were making this game, they were aware that anyone who casts Egress is probably going to have taken some sort of losses and going to be in need of the priest. So that was some smart design on their part. Alright, back to this battle again. Yes, yes. You know, he's a little justified in calling us Guardiana fools now, just because we appeared on the battlefield, then retreated, then reappeared again, almost immediately, seemingly without change. Then again, when someone's been kicking your ass 5 ways from Sunday, in battle after battle after battle, maybe fools isn't the best word to describe them. I don't know, folks. We'll have to see. Since there are no enemies around, I'm just moving my guys as far as they can go. As you can see, Lyle is unpromoted at present. He's a mere level 8. But he's still pretty good. So I don't think I'm going to have to baby him too much here. And there's Xylo with his crazy movement over marshes and woodland. You'll get to see his new attack pretty soon. I did warn you before, it just isn't as cool as his old one. But hopefully you'll be able to appreciate it. It's still kinda cool in its way. Nice job, Ken. Time to stress test Lyle a little bit here. I think I'll have him attack this one. As you can see, he is a centaur with some crazy shoulder-mounted artillery that fires like a huge barrage of arrows. It's pretty cool. It also makes a little more sense once you get him actual explosive artillery. Which is actually, once you get the elfin arrow, the next step, I guess, in archer weapons is artillery. Uh-oh, going for Lyle. This might not be good. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. Lyle can take a single hit from artillery, it seems. Woohoo! And Bouffant just kicking the crap out of that small tank. Does it make sense? No. Is it cool? Yes. And according to the rule of cool, it therefore stands. You know, I might revise what I was saying about May doing sufficient damage with her power spear. I'm starting to think it might actually be worth my time to invest in something better for her. Although I think she might actually have a lance already, doesn't she? Yeah, she does. She has a steel lance already. So there isn't really any need for me to do much more. She might not be doing enough damage for my taste using power spear, but with the steel lance, I think she'll be just fine. You know, if I had known we were going to get chrome lances in the very next town, I would not have bothered spending all that money on steel lances. because as you can see, I basically haven't used them at all. I've just kept all of my centaurs with their power spears. Alright, Lyle. See if you can finish off this artillery for us. And he can. Very nicely done. An explosive burst of arrows. I am going to equip Kokichi with a steel lance for the time being, just so he does that little bit more damage. Now, if I remember correctly, at some point when you're advancing across this battlefield, worms appear. And you may remember them from the battle in the weird place in Ring Reef. And probably all you remember is me killing them almost immediately. Worms are not the hardest enemies. The only thing that makes them at all intimidating is the fact that they can poison your characters. But other than that, there's really not that much to them. Alright, Xylo, why don't you make them appear for us? If you can. Maybe not. Maybe they're still farther away. I could have sworn the worms would have shown up by now, but maybe I'm just not remembering this battle correctly. Oh, still no worms. Whoa, hey now. Master mages. And worms. Weird. I wonder why they didn't show up until just there. Well, I'm going to do a quick save, just in case things go south, because I am right on top of all these guys, and I didn't remember there were quite so many of them. But I think we should be able to take them all out without too much trouble here. Oh dear, that's not good. I was kind of afraid that would happen. Even though they just now appeared, that doesn't mean that they aren't going to go immediately afterwards. It's a little cheap, but it's the nature of the beast. Yeah, as you can see, it's entirely possible to have your hero just straight up die in this sort of situation. Which is why I took the precaution of making a save state. Because, frankly, I don't want my hero to die. I kinda like him. He's a pretty nice guy. And hopefully I'll be able to sort of find my way through this. But never hurts to have a backup. I don't want you having to see this battle yet again. Woohoo! Speed increases by 5. Magic points increase by 4. Domingo, you are my favorite. Oh, you know what? This is a great opportunity for Gort to use his heat axe. Go to it, Gort. Not be seeing any of that worm. And I suspect these Master Mages will not be hanging out too much longer. And the worm just hates Domingo so much, it's going to attack him, and not even hit, instead of trying to finish off Bouffant. Not what I would have done in those circumstances, but, you know, the human heart is a mysterious thing. And the worm heart, even more so. That will be the end of that Master Mage. And Chris, unfortunately, does not have heal level 3 just yet. She is still stuck in heal level 2 world. What I might do is just move her here. Hopefully she can do something of use next turn. Alright, now here's Xylo. We're finally going to get a chance to see his upgraded attack. It just isn't as cool as the old one, but it's still kind of cool. Check it out. So I'm not even really sure what he's doing there. He just kind of summons a gaggle of flying wolf heads or something of that nature. And they hit the enemy. And it's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the same visceral effect as leaping off-screen into the air, then landing claw first into the enemy. That's all I'm saying. It's cool, it's just not as cool. And there's Gong, taking out the last of the Master Mages of that crop that randomly appeared. And here Kokichi is going to get a chance to try out his shiny new Steel Lance. They were actually designed to be used quite that way, but Kokichi seems to make the best of it there, and very nearly kills the worm. Oh, golems. I forgot about those suckers. Oh, jeez. And another worm appeared. Alright, golems. As you can see, they have both very high defense and pretty high attack. Yeah, their defense is equal to that of a Durahan. They just don't hit for quite as much damage. They are fearsome enemies, and should not be taken lightly. As you can see, I'm not going to waste any time in killing this worm. I think a freeze level 1 ought to do it, actually. I do not want to risk Bouffant biting the big one, if I can help it. Man, I cannot wait for... nah, Court doesn't really need it. Who needs it? I know, I'll have Court stay there, because he has really good defense. And maybe I will feed that worm to Lyle. I'm going to need Gong to fall back pretty soon and help out with healing duties, because Chris is good, but she can't handle everything on her own here. She doesn't have Aura yet. Means that she is limited in terms of how many people she can heal at once. You might notice, by the way, that these golems do not have nearly the sort of restrictions on their movement that most characters do in the hills. Maybe I'll have Make Attack. Make it use a level up. There she goes. Defense increases by 2, very good. Speed increases by 1. Hit points increase by 8. Holy cow. And a hell of a level up for May. I'm impressed. Yeah, her defense is back up to 19, and her hit points are way higher than they ever were before. I think things are looking up for May. Xylo, on the other hand, His stats are hurting a little ever since that level up, but he's still a competent fighter, and I'm going to keep him here to hold off the advance of these golems. Oh dear. 1 point of damage, huh? That is no good. Yeah, I think I might need to use a power ring on Xylo. Just because he's not dealing the damage I need him to deal right now. An increase of 15 probably ought to do it, though. Man, Lyle really needs to get healed, so I'm going to just stick him next to Chris there. It is entirely possible, folks, that we will experience some casualties going up against these golems. Simply because there are so many of them, and they have such high defense and high attack. Yeah, we are barely even touching these things. We need to get our mages up here front and center ASAP. There is a lot of healing that needs to be done here. I think May is top priority because I want her to move up to the front, and she needs to be healed if she's going to do that. Gong levels up, with nice increases in speed and defense, and a pretty decent increase in max hit points. Not too shabby. So Bouffant should probably be able to deal more than 1 damage to these golems in a single hit, but for obvious reasons, I do not want to move him in where he can get surrounded and punched to death, because that would be a sad and most unwelcome ending to the saga of Bouffant and the Shining Force. Man, I need to work on this formation a little. Dao is much too far back. She needs to be up there blaze 3-ing these guys. Henri, luckily, is in position to do some damage. I don't think that Freeze is going to do too much more to these guys than Blaze, so I'm going to have her conserve magic points and use Blaze level 2 here. Looks like the golems might be slightly resistant to fire. So Freeze level 2 may be my follow-up here. Oof, Xylo needs healing. But I'm not sure if I'm going to... Well, what I might do is just have Ken use a healing seed on him, since he is right there and ready to heal. And that should save Xylo's butt for at least a couple turns. What is Gort's attack? 37. Okay, there's no question. He is going to deal some damage to a golem if he attacks. Not as much as if he used the heat axe, of course, but you know, you gotta save some of these guys for the other characters or they won't gain the experience. Defense increases by 5. Wow. Gort just racking up the defense. Even May not be able to touch him in this particular game, just because of how much defense he keeps racking up. It's pretty crazy. What does that put him at? Defense of 26. That is some really impressive stuff. Okay, let's see. He is still kinda hurt. Milo's doing okay. Domingo's perfectly fine, of course. Bouffant could use a bit of healing. about these golems? He's got 6, he's got 8, and he's got 8. Really what I want to do is have Dao or Henri finish these guys off. But in the meantime, can't hurt to chip away at him a little. That thing doesn't even have legs. How is it going to quickly evade anything? I am slightly confused by that. Alright, Xylo. Let's be honest, you're not doing your best here. But I'm going to give you another shot. Because if I remember correctly, even dealing... Whoa, hey now. Oh, of course, because I used the powering on him. Ha! I have amnesia. Whatever, it's cool. Xylo just killed a golem and got 48 experience, and that is what matters. And that golem is really stupid. And I guess that also matters. In a way. Kokichi. I think he's only going to do 1 hit point of damage to these guys. But it never hurts. He might deal 2, with an attack of 29. Let's find out. No, just 1. But he got 2 whole experience for it. That's pretty good, right? Okay, I don't think Domingo has the wherewithal to cast Freeze level 2 again. Indeed, he does not. He can only cast Freeze level 1. I think I will have him take out that golem right there. That will be the last thing Domingo does in this particular battle. But what a thing it is. Look at that. Beautiful. And he's level 7. Defense increases by 3. And, oh, he learns Muddle. You know, for some reason I thought he didn't have his time wasted learning Muddle, but I was wrong. He follows the Henri path of learning the spell. You know what, let's check Kokichi's agility. No, you know what? I was wrong in that last battle. Muddle didn't reduce his agility at all. His agility just actually normally is that bad. Yeah, no, I was right. Muddle is completely, totally useless. And that makes me sad. You know what else makes me sad? The fact that I accidentally selected Stay there when I meant to use magic. Luckily, Domingo is awesome, and the golem can't touch him. So we have another turn to try. Let's see. Chris really needs to heal Lyle. Turn really needs to get his centaur butt up a little closer to the front line. No offense, Lyle. But you're kind of lagging behind here, that's all I'm saying. Ooh, Chris leveled up. That's good. Ooh, a nice defense increase there. Nice all-around level up from Chris. Very good. The one thing I want to see from her is her learning Heal level 3. That might just be 1 level away for her. Can Xylo finish this golem? Yes, he can! Ooh, nice attack. And he's level 2. Attack increases by 3. Defense increases by 1. Speed increases by 4. That is a good, solid level up from Xylo. Proving that it's worth keeping him around, even after his stats drop dramatically from promotion. And Domingo, oh Domingo. All he's good for at this point is as bait for the enemies, simply because he can't cast any more spells, and that is the one thing that Domingo is useful at. I mean, attack of 16, that's not going to do anything against these particular enemies. As funny as it is to watch him sit on the enemy's face, it's not going to deal more than 1 damage. Ergo, he's kind of useless right now. I'm sorry for saying ergo. That was kind of elitist of me. But I do like certain Latin words. Ergo, I use them. As you can see, Gong and Chris are actually the same level, right? They're both level 3 post-promotion. But Gong has the better healing magic at this point, because the game has not seen fit to make him spend his time learning buffs and debuffs. And I'm okay with that, because really, when you're dealing with healers, it's the healing magic that ends up being of greatest importance. Not to, you know, disrespect buffs and debuffs, but they are not the most crucial spells in this game. They just aren't. Alright, Kokichi could use some healing. He's a danger there, so I'm just gonna boost him a little with Gong here. You know what I really ought to do is give that holy staff over to Chris. Who did I give it to? I think I gave it to Henri, right? No, not to Henri. Who did I give it to? Oh, I gave it to Dao. Yeah, that was silly. I mean, when you have mages, they don't need the powerful staves as much, because, well, quite frankly, their main damage dealing capacity is in their spells, right? But when you're dealing with a healer like Chris, she doesn't have any attack spells. She has to have a decent weapon if she's going to get any kills in. So, really, if I were thinking clearly, I would have given her the Holy Staff, and not Dao. That was poor planning on my part. I'm going to wait for her to catch up a little bit here. I do not need my healers lagging behind. Particularly on terrain like this, where it's going to take them a few turns to even get to where everyone else is. Alright, let's think about this for a second. Whoa, holy cow. Computer almost fell asleep there, sorry about that, folks. You know, I don't know why this computer does this. I have it set specifically not to do that. I have no good explanation for you, I'm afraid. I apologize if that upset any of you, ruined your evenings, anything like that. Okay, now we are good to advance. Kokichi, why don't you move around there and put the hurt on that Master Mage. Hopefully we'll be able to finish him with some manner of ranged attack before he can cause any AoE havoc among our troops. Ooh, Kokichi's leveled up. Defense increase, speed increase, hit point increase. Alright, pretty solid. Nothing to complain about there. And Bouffant's leveling up. Defense increases by 4, very nice. Speed increases by 6. Yowza! Ah, God. Those freaking Master Mages, man. They have just the worst timing. Which I guess could also be the best timing, depending on your perspective. Is that as far as you can go, Domingo? Yeah, sure, why? No, actually, that's silly. I don't want to have to pay money to resurrect Domingo, if I don't have to. What I am going to do is have Gordon use the Heat Axe. This is a golden opportunity right here. Look at that. That is a 4-person AoE hit right there. It's not enough to finish off the Master Mage, but it'll get him awfully close. It is enough to finish off that artillery, which will help a bit when it comes to positioning. Xylo, I think, ought to be able to seal the deal on this Master Mage. Let's watch him do his thing. And yes, he can. 18 points of damage, no less. That is a nice, solid hit from Xylo. May, meanwhile, should be able to finish off this artillery. Yep. Yes, she can. Or perhaps I should say, yes, she may. Sorry about that, folks. I think I've already made that joke, but you know what? Some jokes just never get old. Look at that thing. That is a hideous creature. And it's not even gonna move. It's one of those, I see. Well, that makes it pretty easy to deal with. I will not complain about that. Particularly with my healers running low on magic points. Bouffant is up to 24 defense. That is almost as high as Gort's. Pretty impressive stuff. Alright, Kokichi. Time for you to whack this High Priest here. Last thing I need is him going around healing everyone. And Kokichi gets it done. This crazy spinning helicopter thing of death. Nah, I want the experience from killing this Durahan. Incidentally, I think that's the first time I've ever seen the game allow me to end a battle early because I've reached a destination. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know it did that. Well, since that Durahan doesn't even move, I'm going to open up a spot for Dao and Henri to get in a little bit of a magical strike on this guy. Well, Dao manly. Yep, the Durahan simply isn't going to move. It's absolutely adamant about it. Let's see if Kokichi can change his mind. Not even close. Maybe Lyle. Maybe Lyle can do something. What is Lyle's attack? 30. That's pretty solid. Let's see if he can do something. Nope. 1 point of damage. Oh! And a second point of damage. For a whopping 4 experience points. You go, Lyle. What's that put him? 82. Alright, I'm gonna have to try to level him up in the next battle, because I don't think it's gonna happen in this one. And Ken just barely manages to take out the Durahan, leveling up in the process, but only getting a speed increase, albeit a pretty substantial speed increase. Ooh, he called us Shining Fools. That is a sick burn, ladies and gentlemen. A sick burn. Well, we have to stop Kane before he finds the Manual of the Seal, clearly. So we're going to move onward, but not until the next episode, because I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that we are out of time for today. Thank you for watching Let's Play Shining Force. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I know I've enjoyed playing. My name is Craig Stern, and I will see you next time.